we're live. She's completely unexplainable. You think she's a good girl, but once you get to know her, you realize she's everything. She's crazy. She's funny. She's honest. And you never know what she'll do next.
Woo! I'm so glad to be back. And I'm so glad you're all back with us. This is wonderful. I have JC Coffey with me today. You're not going to believe it, but this beautiful woman next to me has 7 kids. She has had how many businesses? 4 businesses?
5. Well, more than that, but we'll just say 5.
And what kind of businesses did you have, JC? Do you still have?
Okay, well, right now, first I want to say that I know you have me up here as 411 business, but I want to put a disclaimer that all of that I'm saying today is opinions of JC Coffey and not 411 business. So, and none of my other businesses either. This is just me, raw.
I forgot to put that little byline down below that you said I should have put up, but I forgot to.
Yes.
Send that to me.
I'll put the disclaimer for you.
Yes. You didn't sign my release either. So we're like flying by the wind here.
So, well, good. We protect each other. You got a friend in me.
Yeah. Well, this is awesome. Well, I'm so excited to have a chance to talk with you, JC, because there have been, as I think you've seen recently, I've had a couple of men. I've had at least one man and another matchmaker man, Steve Fox. But do you know Steve Fox?
Yes, very well.
Okay. And also, I had a couple of women say what they're looking for dating. And so I know that you specialize in the psychology of dating. So this is what we want to find out about here. How are we attracted to each other? Can you share just a little bit of that? Or maybe a lot of that. I don't know. We've got some time here. It's a Friday. We're not doing anything.
I can share my opinion. That's what I can share.
Okay. I like it.
So, okay. Well, first of all, I think a lot of it comes down to getting to know ourselves, right? When we talk about the psychology behind connections, I really feel like it's learning who you are, right? And so I give 7 different tests to people, right? And these tests.
That's what I want to hear about.
Yeah. So the test, no one gets
things down. I'm jotting things down. Gotta go.
I love it. Keep jotting because I got a lot of information for you guys. So with each of these tests, they dive into who you are individually, right?
Okay.
And I don't get the test, you get them, you get the answers. And I'll go briefly into each individual test. I'll touch on a little bit of them. The first one is love language. And all of these things play a major role in business as well as personal relationships. So this is not just about love, right? The psychology behind love language, right, is it teaches you how you give and receive love. And what I mean by that is what makes you tick, what makes you smile, what makes you laugh, what makes you feel good. And then the second test I give people is a test. It's called the attachment style quiz. And the attachment style is so important because it goes back to the first 7 years of your existence and how you behaved and how you handle stress and pressure, right? And then the third test I give is the 16 personality test. And that test is based on business more, right? And then the next test is based is just the personality test. And it's based more on relationships, right?
Okay.
How you think about relationships. And then I give another test based on your wealth level and your genius type. It comes from the Millionaire Master Plan book.
Interesting.
And it goes into teaching you, look, I'm sweating. Woo. It teaches you about your wealth and how you think and what type of genius you are, right? Which is so powerful because I really feel like when you take all this information and when you know better, you can do better, right? So, and then the sixth test I give is a test about your learning style. What kind of learner are you? Are you a visual? Are you auditory? Or are you kinetic? And then
Okay.
the very last test that I give is your sexual compatibility. And the reason that's important is because, you know, some people never were able to speak about sex and what they like and what intimacy is to them, right? And so in order to be compatible, there's so many different facets of a relationship, whether it's business or personal, right? And so when you talk about your sexual compatibility, you don't want to match someone up that, likes intimate sex every day with someone who thinks that sex should be had once a month, right? You don't want to match someone up who wants to be choked when they're being intimate with somebody
No
who
judgment. No judgment.
I've seen that face
I don't
with
like to be
someone.
choked. I don't like to be choked.
Well, I mean, there's all different types of what people call intimacy, right? You have some people who like to be demeaned. I mean, to them, intimacy is to be talked down to. Some people like to be walked on a dog leash.
Right.
So again, we're broad spectrum people, right? We're here to help, not here to judge. And so, with that being said, it's the understanding of who you are as an individual, as complex as that might be.
Okay.
So,
All right. So, what is the craziest thing that you've ever found? What's the craziest thing?
okay, well, when I'll say that
And we
one
didn't discuss these questions beforehand. I probably should have given her a heads up. Just so she had a little time to think about it. These are going to be right off the cuff, and she didn't sign a release or anything. So I hope that this one keep going.
okay, well, okay, so I can say for me, one of the craziest things that someone ever asked me to do was uh God, I don't even know if I can say this on live. This person wanted to know, and it was a study. Their thing that they liked was being kicked in the balls, right? And that was what they wanted me to find them somebody who wanted to do that, right? That was
How
their
hard was that?
part of intimacy.
How hard was that?
I mean, it's not hard to find the people, but I didn't really necessarily want to be the person that was calling around to say, hey, this is the kind of person that, but it's easy actually, all nonsense aside, actually, there's a place for everybody, and we're not here to judge, at least I'm not. And I believe in finding like-minded people. And so for people like that, you just go on fetish.com and they have,
I'm
yes.
glad you're giving us these tips. This is really interesting.
Yes. And so on fetish.com, it gives you an understanding
Fetish.com.
anything you want. You want to be walked on a leash? You
It's
want to
been a
be
while.
owned?
It's been a while. I'm like, well, maybe fetish.com.
It is amazing for
There's
anyone.
somebody for everybody out there.
I believe that we can really help people provide by providing them with the resources, because
Right.
to some people, pain is pleasure.
Yeah.
Honestly, right? And so I really got into this because I was in a relationship with somebody and I loved that person. That was the first time in my life ever that I thought that I had it all. I thought I was every day, every second of every minute of every hour of every day with that person was just absolutely phenomenal. And I never in a trillion years would have thought that anything could have broken us up but death. And as I studied when we split up, and I thought, how is this possible? How is this possible? I studied him and I did everything he liked, and I
Right.
loved him. And really, it was just that we all have our own coping mechanisms, and different people cope with things differently, right? And so that made me want to study the brain even more and understand what does make each individual safe. What are they looking for, right?
Right.
because just like one person's trash is another person's treasure, one person's way of loving somebody, one person's understanding of intimacy is totally different than the next person's understanding. Doesn't mean they're right or wrong, right? It just means that it might not be your thing or it might be your thing. And that's why I like to take all these tests so I can give people what they want, no matter as much pain or pleasure as they desire.
Okay. Well, now that, all right. So that's the craziest thing. Tell me what the funnest thing is, or the most romantic thing. Can you think of anything?
Well, oh yeah. Oh,
You're
I
not
girl,
prepared.
I can think of anything, honey. Well, okay. So the most romantic thing, I have to then go to my parents, my mom and dad. They are the most. My mom's been in love and been in phenomenal relationship 2 times. Most
Amazing.
people
I know you told
never
me last time we
find
talked.
it one time, right? And what I mean by that is, I mean real love, love where you constantly think of each other. They both think of each other. And before my dad passed away, right, they never talked bad about each other. They were very loving and kind. My dad always called every day on his way home to see if we needed anything. And he would call my mom through the day. My mom checked on him. They really invested and
Right.
losing their self in each other, right? And then he passed away. And
Oh,
we thought, oh, wow, poor mom, gosh,
yeah.
she had it all. How is she ever going to, what's she going to do now? And then she got with someone else. And he is literally like Heavenly Father blessed her and allowed my dad's spirit to go into his spirit. And they literally, he writes her love letters and she writes him notes, and they just do the most, and they're simple things. It's not, he didn't go buy her a
Right.
$20,000 Gucci purse. He didn't have to take her and spend $100,000 on their vacation, right? But they never go to bed angry. They love each other. They care about each other. They want to know what makes the other person smile. And so that's been the most amazing thing. And what an honor to be a part of that.
Right.
Through my life, having so many children, being married 3 times. So clearly, I didn't get the
You've been
memo.
married 2 times. Wow. Good for you. Good for you for finding 3 wonderful matches that you could be married to for that. I mean, I think
This
that's fun.
when people look at me and they're like, "Ah, you've been married 3 times," I'm like, honey, let me tell you something. Do you know what it says about me as an individual and my personality? Because I had a gentleman who married me when I had 4 kids, and then I had another gentleman who married me when I had 6. So when I look at it, people can look at it and you get what you want to get. If you want to get, wow, how did she possibly manage that? Or if you want to say, wow, and what's wrong with her? So
Well,
again,
I have another way of looking at this too, because if I used to, I mean, I have been dating for like 14 years now. And I used to have a friend, Melissa Rohr, a good friend of mine from when I lived in Panama. And she's married now and inherited twins, and she's got a great life going now. But so we've drifted apart. But when we were friends, closer friends, I said, I don't know about him. What do you think? He's been married 5 times. She said, Tracy, that means he's a lover. He's a
yes,
lover. He's a marrier. That's good. She said, that's what you want. I'm like, really? 5 times? I'm like, oh. But I mean, that is a whole nother way to look at it. I mean, these people are lovers. You're a lover, obviously. I'm a lover too, but I guess I don't know. I guess I've got stuff that needed to be worked out before I found the one for me and the second one for me. But
exactly. And that's the biggest key is like, never give up, man. Never. I have people tell me all the time, Jay, what are you doing? You're beautiful. You can have whatever you want. Get rid of this love stuff. It doesn't exist. Just find somebody and do this. And
no,
everybody, my
I don't
mentors,
believe that for a minute. I don't believe it for
no, me neither. I see love every
giving up.
day.
That's giving up.
I love. How can I not see love when I am love? My
Exactly.
existence is love.
I'm love
I
as well.
love to love.
I love to love as well. And I love to be loved,
Yes.
and
Oh, Me too. Me
It's
too.
like tomorrow I'm going on a road trip to Achalua or Alochua because people up there want me to. They really want me to, and they have provided a place for me to stay, and they're ready to pick me up at the airport if I fly or if I drive, whatever. They have made me feel so welcome, and I feel so loved and so desired that I'm gonna freaking drive to Achalua tomorrow or Alachua or whatever it's called. But I mean, it's like 3 or 4 hours away from where I live in Florida. But you know what? I mean, if they want me there that much, I'm going to go. I want to be with people that want to be with me. It matters,
Yes. Do you
right?
know, I'm so glad that you brought that up. Let me tell you, do you know how thankful I am? Sometimes people say to me, Jay, oh my gosh, why do you deal with all these people's problems? Why? Let them just go. If that's what they want, let them go. Do not take on all that. But you know what? I look at it like this. There is over 7 billion people in the world. And do you know how honored that I am out of 7 billion people? They're calling me. They're calling
Exactly.
me. They're
Exactly.
saying, they're saying, JC, I need your help. I have this problem. Now, granted, I do have boundaries. Newsflash, I'm teaching those to myself.
Okay.
Right? I have to learn that JC is an honorable member of the Jesus Christ Club, but
Okay.
not Jesus Christ.
Right.
We already have a savior. But with that being said, I just love the fact that people want me around and they want my opinion and they like me. I was talking earlier, I want to love people and help them. Why? I have access to everything. I am privileged enough. If you want to call it privileged, hey, I'll take that. Or you want to say that I've worked enough and I've made enough connections and been there for enough people to develop enough relationships and love people enough to have access to everything around the world. And even with that access, I still struggle emotionally sometimes, right? I still wake up sometimes and have a bad day, right?
Yeah.
But imagine the people who don't have that support system. And a lot of people don't have that. So I look at it like, one, wow, thank you for contacting me and trusting me with your problems, right? I will advise you, take it or leave it. It's free, right? And then as when it comes to being an example and constantly finding and connecting the psychology of connections, right?
Right.
I'm like, if I can just provide a connection for just one person or an answer or a smile or a hug, think about what you said. You're
Well,
going
tell me
there.
this. Tell me this, JC. What is the most amazing match that you've ever made from your tests that you've done? The most amazing. Um,
The most amazing match. Let's see.
and how long does
Really
it usually after you do this, you have like an algorithm you put together. Isn't that what you said?
Yes. So, okay. So I'll say, I won't say the most amazing. I'll say that, cause there's certain things I can't talk about, right? Cause I sign non-disclosures too with different people, right?
Okay.
So I can say that, with what I've been able to do, I see that people have more of a sustainability if they want to take into consideration and actually listen to me, right? If they don't want to and they want to continue down their road of just looking at people, right, then they won't. And I'll go back to that comment because I want to bring up an interesting subject relating to that. But I will say that for the test that I'm putting together, and it takes a lot of data, right? Because you have to have a large system. I did it on a small level, and yes, it works. But to really implement it, I'm putting together After Swiping is a company that I'm putting together, right? And I wrote the code for after swiping, and you take all 7 tests and you put them in, and then you match them and you set it up to have a 90% compatibility rate, right? Now, it's opinions. Who knows? Maybe the AI knows more than we do. Maybe they don't. We'll see. But a lot of it is just science. It's just, opposites don't attract, they distract, right?
Okay.
with there's a middle point. You're never going to find someone who's alike, completely like you on everything, right? But
Right.
just understanding the difference places that you want to be different in the areas, right? And then the ones that you want to be more compatible. And in my opinion, right, you want to be compatible on things that, like how you wind down each day. If one person winds down by reading a book and the other person winds down by going to a social networking event, if you guys want to spend time together all the time, one person every day is going to be making a sacrifice. One person is going to have to settle, right? But if you find somebody who you guys both, definition of winding down in relaxing is listening to the financial channel so that you can relax. It's just when you both are happy, you're both winding down the same way, right? And if you don't, when it comes to love or intimacy, right? Maybe you guys do not have the same exact love language, but the understanding of how one person gives love and receives it, and then the other person understands how they give love and receive it. Now you're able to consciously speak the other person's love language. Does that make sense? I
Yes.
feel like,
Now, tell me, what do you think of the dating apps?
oh, girl. I think they're what you put into them, honestly. Everyone says they don't like them. I actually love them. You want to know why I love
I
them?
believe anything that connects people and brings people together is a good thing. So, yeah, it's exhausting to be on them, but it's a good thing, like most nights I've been sitting here at home alone lately, because, and so then I'm not going out and sitting in a bar because I'm thinking I've done that for years. And look, here I am, so I'd rather just stay here and concentrate on my businesses that I've got going on and building my businesses. But then I'm thinking, well, geez, I'm not out there. So then I have found myself back swiping,
I love it.
mean,
I love it because, so I look at things differently though. I like it because I like to get in people's mind. I want to know what they're thinking. I want to know, what they need, And so I have so many guys that call me and for connections for other women, right? Because I've interviewed over 3,500 men looking for the love of my life,
oh,
and
wow.
I work on every day becoming what I want, right? Because if I believe, right, in the law of attraction. So if I
I
want somebody who values these particular things, right, then I need to value those particular things, and then it will be drawn to me. I might
exactly.
not be, they might not be on the same level as me on this and that, but their idea behind them is the same, right? And I might not be on the same level with them on this and this, but if I like it and I can learn, right? Then again, for me, it's like, again, when people say, why are you single? I'm like, okay, because I'm looking for the person who understands me, right? And when you find that person, I just really believe that you'll know. I don't believe in settling and, just to have a warm body. So
Do you
many,
believe, do you believe in looking? Some people say you shouldn't be looking. You don't be looking. Don't look.
well, guess
What do you
what?
think?
Guess what I'm going to tell you about that. Okay. That's the same.
Hey, I can't see him in that. Like, don't look. Like, how am I going to see him if I don't look?
Well, here's the thing. You miss every shot you don't take. So if you don't look, what is the likelihood of you finding? Meaning, if I don't work and focus every day on building out my business and getting more clientele, it doesn't just fall from the sky unless you're a trust fund baby, right? So unless you're having your significant other picked for you, right? Because that's your culture, then
Right.
you have to do something. Now, maybe you don't. Okay. There are those one percenters out there. that can just sit there and it comes to them. But for 99% of us, we have to, or we don't have to, we get to, because I'm a big believer in words, right? So we
Right.
get to work on ourselves every day. We get to refine ourselves. See, I'm a diamond, right? But it took a long time to get that way. And before, when I was coal, all the time I kept wanting to be a diamond. And see, most people, they want to be a diamond, right? But they don't
Right.
want to go through the pressure that it takes to turn from coal to a diamond. And then
Exactly.
they don't want to be cut. And the cutting is where you get to perfection, right? And so when I say to people, oh, well, you want to be a diamond, but you don't want to handle the pressure. You want to be wealthy, you want to have a successful business, but it's an idea that you don't implement, right? You got to
Right.
work on it. You got to work on it. And so everything in life, I believe, is a work in progress, right? So that's how come I believe in looking. Now, now if you're not looking, meaning you're not like, hey, this is a major priority of mine, then no, don't look right now because there's no need to. It's not a priority of yours. But if it is a priority, just like if you want to be the best soccer player ever, right? Then you go every day and you practice soccer. And for me, I want to be the best partner ever. I want my significant other to think, how did I exist before her? You know, once we're together and he sees how I treat him, he's going to be like, "Oh my gosh. I don't even know how I lived my life without her because I want to love him and everything that he wants. I want already. And I don't even know what all it is. But it's like, oh, you like that? I like that too. Just
I
because,
see your comments over there now. Richie Kovitz, you be nice.
what did he
He's
say? Oh, I
joking
didn't
over there.
even.
He's saying some things that don't sound very nice, but then he said he's joking. So
I bet
anyway,
he was.
he's the
He
guy that
was.
I interviewed. He's the guy that I interviewed last time that had all these points that he was so passionate about.
He was
So
so passionate about. Well, you
yes,
know what? Everybody's voice is important. I believe that, right?
yes.
Not everybody is for everybody, and not everybody is for me, and I'm not for everybody. And that's why we're here to help, not here to judge. And we all
I
have our
can't
own.
stand people that tell people how it is. Like there's no other way because I'm never here to tell people the way it is. I don't know.
No,
Everybody's got a right to their opinion. I'm not saying what I do is the only way. I don't know. I mean, like if I knew, I would have found my perfect man 14 years ago. But you know what? I'm learning. I'm a student. I'm working on myself.
I
You know,
have phenomenal friends that I have made along the way because my body is not a visiting center, right? And so, since my body is not a visiting center, I have made great friends because I don't get into the intimate aspect of things, right, with people until I understand their mind, right? So, because of that, we can maintain a friendship because we didn't sleep together, you
right.
know, and so by interviewing all these people, and asking these questions and having these kind of conversations, I'm not jumping into bed,
You
right?
know what I found the people that I really thought I was really drawn to at first, the more I get to know them, the less I want to be intimate with them. That's what I have found a lot of times. So, I mean, that's why I'm pretty particular now, who I am with and who I do let that close to my body,
Well,
because that is really when you let somebody that close to your body and inside your body, you take on a
their
piece of that.
energy.
You take
Yep.
on energy, you take on more than that. And so I'm very, very cautious about who I let that close to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people, some people don't understand it, and I get it. My people, maybe they don't understand my story, but hey, I say a lot of times, when you know what you know, you do differently, right? And coming from my past traumas and then also working in the medical field and seeing all these women have to have vaginal reconstruction because of the things that they were trying to please someone to like them and let them do to their body. And men too. Now it's not just women, it's definitely both. Men have to have, they're a lot done to them as well, right? Sometimes we see that a lot in the medical field. And
Yes.
so when you understand who you are, right? And you become confident. Now, if that's what you like, that's great too. I support that too. I will, you can call me and say, hey, I want 10 men tonight. And I'll say, okay, I have the people that you can call to do that with, right? I have the locations you can go and make that happen. Because why? I study the psychology of connections. I'm here to give you what you want and help you, whether you want pain or pleasure. I'm here to help you with that. Now,
Right.
might not physically do it, but I mean, I have the resources.
Now, where can people find you, JC, if they need your help with this? Or I know you've got this other business going on too. You want to tell us a little bit about that, what you've got going on?
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so I have been blessed by my lovely partner to come in to be able to give what is a blessing. So I'll not get emotional because it's so emotional to me, but a blessing of connection. And so 411business.com is I'm building out a community of unity. And what I mean by that is on our platform, you can go and for free, you can advertise. You go to 411.com and you can advertise, click on advertising and set up a free listing. And through the listing, I'm now offering for people for a limited time only. And we take donations. An interview and feature their business, right? Because even if you're not the business owner, say you're an employee, I will interview you too. If you're a child that wants to talk about something that you want, I will interview you too, right? And so on 411, we're here to be able to provide resources to everybody. And so that's really what I'm so passionate about, to be able to be love and then provide the love effect, right? Love effect is just how when I smile, you smile, right? Because you feel my energy. And when you feel love, you start to psychologically, you can study human behavior and you'll see someone when I start talking about how positive they are and how amazing they are, and wow, you've been able to do this and that, their heads lifts up and their shoulders lift up and their face, I'm breathing confidence into them, right? And so through 411, I'm being able to do that. I'm being able to say, hey, tell me your story and how can I help you? How can someone reach you? And so that's 411. And so again, you can reach me through 411 if you have a business or a company or you need any kind of resources. Please, I'll help you find whatever you need if you take it.
And I'll have
I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make them drink.
I'll have a link underneath the video on YouTube too, where everybody can access Coffey and get some help for whatever they need.
Actually,
Okay.
absolutely. And we'll do their interview and, I'll connect them to whatever it is, so just resources.
Now, let me ask you one final question, JC. What are the people that find their matches? What do they all have in common? The people that you have worked with, that it's easy to find their matches. What is it that they all have in common?
Desire.
They all want to find a match.
Desire. It's just like anyone can make a hamburger, right? But not anyone can create a McDonald's. So when you have the desire and then the drive, right? They desired it. So I guess it's two things, the desire and the drive, right? Because you can want it and you can talk about it all day long. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But do you actually eat, sleep, and breathe it? I eat, sleep, and breathe love, right? And it's just the same. I'll leave with this last part. When we talk about investing, right? And I relate this to relationships and the psychology of connections, right? If you, as an investor, if you walk by and you go to this resort and it's the most magnificent resort you've ever seen in your life, you still would not walk in and go by that resort. Why? Because you're going to do your due diligence. You're going to
Right.
have your attorney pull all the paperwork, pull the feasibility study, do this, do that, and see if it's a good investment. So I challenge every person out there to do the same thing with their business, with their love life. Don't just judge somebody on what they look like. I mean, are you kidding me? You walk by somebody and you like them sexually because you're turned on, and now you're letting them come into your life and be a part of your family without doing the due diligence. And so I think that that is so key.
Awesome. Thank you, JC. Okay. Okay, and I know that JC is interested in multifamily properties, so I found an article today, JP Morgan and Chase, written February 28th, 2024. What's in store for multifamily investors in 2024? Is that what you're wondering, JC?
Absolutely. I'm waiting for you to tell me, girl.
At a national level, multifamily real estate will continue to grapple with slowing growth in the number of new households while apartment supply surges. Rents will likely continue to grow, but more slowly than the long run average. Meanwhile, vacancy rates are expected to stay at levels slightly above average in the post 2008 recession period, according to insights from Moody analysts CRE, commercial real estate. One reason for optimism: a strong job market that has aided renters financially in having financial stability. A tight housing market with high interest rates may also continue to keep would-be home buyers in the rental market. That's good.
That's good.
It's good for people that own properties that they're renting to. Those are the ones that it's good for. But that said, affordability remains an issue in many cities, said Thomas LaSalvia, head of commercial real estate economics at Moody's Analyst CRE nationwide. Vacancies are expected to inch up to 5.5% this year in Florida, due to a larger than usual increase in new construction and slower than usual growth in the number of renter households, he said. That's close to the average vacancy over the past 25 years.
That's
so
good.
just you were wondering, if you're looking at investing in a multifamily property,
Now is the time. It's been the time. But at least now you know about it.
Exactly.
Knowing is half the battle.
Listen, I've got partners all over the world. If you've got a realtor that you're already working with, work with that realtor. But if you don't, reach out to me. My number and my contact information is going to be in the blurb below. And I'd be more than happy to help you. I connect you with one of my Keller Williams partners that I know of that has been really successful in helping partners of mine and clients of mine already. So anyway, please also post below anything that you have a question on, either of JC or me. We look and we're happy to see when you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share, please share. We're trying to reach as many people as we can, and it helps with the YouTube algorithm when you do.
We're not trying. Okay, we don't try, because try.
Did I say try?
We are not trying. We're doing it. We're doing it. So again,
my dad says trying implies failure. Of course, that's my late
trying
brother.
implies lying. You're lying.
Trying implies failure. So I would never try to do anything.
We're doing it. We're doing it. So again, hit that like button and share this with all your friends. Be a connector. Connection of perfection is what we're all about with the love effect. And look at her. I love it.
Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Let me know if you're interested in sponsorship. We're looking for sponsors, and also getting your message out there. If you want to advertise with us, we're here for everybody today. We're here for everybody today.
Yes, so I'm here for everybody every day.
There we go. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.